Johnson, and this is Focus on Liberia. Hit it! From Cape Mount to Cape Palmer, Mount Nimba to Atlantic Ocean, Obomi Hills to Pocondre, to educate, elevate, and promote. Talk about home affairs, in diaspora, current affairs, reliable information, history, talking about culture, politics, education, entertainment, business, sports, advertisement, articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Sunday. This is June the 7th, 2026. Wow. Honorable Isma, welcome to this show.
Yes, glad to be here. Many good things are happening, and we can only be happy that we're still alive. And so we can see our country move forward.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, today is the 7th. Believe it or not, we are in the middle of 2026, 6 more months to go. Can you believe that? We were just celebrating Christmas and New Year the other day. But before you go forward, let me welcome the Honorable Joseph Joe Towell.
Yeah, how you doing, gentlemen?
Hey, you got any middle name?
You want here?
I want to hear it.
No.
It not longer than no. I'm watching the Croatia and Slovenia play, and I don't think your name is longer than any of the Polish people names. So you got nothing on those guys. How you doing, young man?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
We welcome, man. How you doing?
Down
there in Texas.
Yeah, Hanky in there, man, trying to navigate everything that's going on, both at home and abroad.
Trying to navigate. I remember that the new title, the navigator. You don't need GPS. Once you get Mr. Tower on your team, you're all right. You don't need GPS. Hey, well, guys, we got an exciting show. As usual, we'll go from Monday through Sunday, and we're going to discuss some of the things that happened in the past. Then we will go to our listed agenda. Sometimes we will go through them. Sometimes we will not finish them, but so far we are ready to go. You know, the last week was very interesting because we had a lot of stuff to discuss. We discussed briefly Criminal Court A voice defense attorney's autopsy in the Tony Jackson case. We discussed that this week. We discussed Joseph Walker launching new national security strategy shifts focus to human security emerging threat. We also discussed, I think we discussed this year, the humiliation of a 58-year-old woman sparked national outrage renewed calls to end human or harmful practices, something we call cultural in Liberia. This was in River G. The script, a 58-year-old woman grandmother, and paraded her all around town. Someone in the town accused her of being witchcraft. Terrible, terrible human rights abuse. We're going to discuss it. We have time. The Liberian government tasked a new generation of male influencer. They were asked to confront violence against women and rethink what masculinity means in our social media world, in our culture. So they're trying something new. They're trying to go to the young men who are on social media as
You don't recognize me now, yeah.
We don't recognize people from other countries. Anyway, this is a Liberian platform. Let me welcome Honorable Aliu Kamara. Kamara, Mr. Kamara, welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much.
Good.
Happy to see all of you, including the radical extremists.
You see, this man who just said he was complaining because he was attacking me. Now he can't show. You know, when my old man was preaching, he used to preach this thing about forgiveness. He said this guy was owing another guy some money, and he didn't have the money, and the man said, you know what? Finally, I forgive you. You can go. And when he was going, he met another man that owed him. Somebody who was just forgiving. He got to attack the man and said, you got to pay me my money. That's what we're doing. The man said, don't attack me. So I let him go. He went and attacked somebody else. But yeah, so this one is very serious. I think even though they were days apart, no, they were about the same day. They were published the same day. To have a 58-year-old grandmother stripped naked, paraded around town because somebody yelled that she was a witchcraft. And then the government is trying, which I think is a good thing, trying to use the male influencers on social media in Liberia to help with the scourge of violence against women. I think that is we're talking about good public policy. This is a new way of dealing with these kinds of things. Whoever thought about this advised the president on a good thing. Let me welcome Honorable Nambi. Nambi, welcome to the show.
Hey, happy Sunday is going to be with you guys. Good to see you, Mr. Kamara, Mr. Eastman, as well as Mr. Towel, Mr. Gaiman, and happy Sunday to our audience as well. Share the show.
You see when the man got to me,
partisan bias.
You see how the man when he got to me, he said as well as. You see that?
Yeah, you are addition.
Partisan bias. I had to demand to be recommended before they go even look at my face. Now by the time another CMC man hit the floor, boom. Instantly, he recognized me.
Yo, still on inside.
No, you see, that in South Africa is coming to Liberia. We're going to be telling all the foreign people to leave our country, leave our country. That's what we're going to do. You got to leave. And then
but you still got to tell them. I mean, the Guineans are already coming and taking them anyway.
Oh yeah, well, for Lofa, we don't have to worry about them because you went to sleep one day, woke up the next day Guinean. After delays and bribery allegations, Liberia's largest human trafficking case went to court and trial. That was good. Then we also discussed the different contracts for lobbying.
But why you can outline the topic on the screen and then talk about different thing completely?
Because I run the show and you done.
Yeah, okay. You have a point there. Even if it doesn't make sense, but you have to just.
You see, that's what happens when you come to class late.
All right, look at the topic.
Listen, you keep the class late. That's why when you can't, you put your hand up before you speak.
Okay.
I said we were going to do the weekend review. We're going to list all what we have discussed, then go to our listed thing that are scrolling on the side. So you see, that's what happens when you don't listen. That's why they used to be your. They say, put your hand up, because you don't listen. Yeah, we had a controversy in the country this week with the President Joseph Walker, the Unity Party hiring a lobbyist for $100,000 a month. And people were going haywire. And I sided with the president on this one. Every government needs a lobbyist in Washington, D.C. It just depends on what is it you get from it, what you demand. So, guys, these were some of the stuff that we discussed all during this week. We argued. And then, finally, a dream deferred no more. VP Cone to break ground for Landmark Vocational Institute in Tabata as Lower Nima Art Educational Transformation. So these were all the topics we discussed during the week, and then we decided we're gonna zoom in on Waka dedicate the new solar farm and rededicated Mount Coffee. You know, every time there's a rainy season, they start doing it too, so they can say working. Then when summer comes, nothing happens. What does this mean for those who continue to face power shortage in the country? Number two, LDEA declares it has eradicated ghettos in the Republic of Liberia, specifically Monrovia. Is this accurate or political ploy? I don't know. We're gonna delve into that. Number three, Dr. Tapper makes an appeal for $10 million US for the Lone Star. He said Lone Star sleeps in hotels and don't pay and they leave. So they want to pay those to 4 countries. I don't know how that is possible. They are not been under arrest yet. And 4, another prelate said President Walker is confused. So his policies are confused. And the economy will be confused. And everything in the country will be confused. Hey. So ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be on fire today because the Unity Party people say they are not confused, but they're bumping heads. So I don't know what's happening because usually when you don't know which direction you're going, you're bumping head. People bumping head, you know, all kinds of stuff. So ladies and gentlemen, please let us know where you are tuning in from so we can give you some credit for where you are. Let me welcome Mr. Elvis Morris. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Goodman. Hello to you and the fellow panelists.
Good. And from Liberia, the Infinite Executive Manager, let me welcome Dr. Fidel Budi. Fidel, every time you enter that mansion, you let to overthrow people from the southeast. What's wrong with you? Well, Joseph Walker, when they see they're gonna be afraid.
We gave that man to the Niba people.
Okay.
How would you just give you anyway? To be honest, Mr. Nami, I don't know how to respond to that one. So
I got you
Dr. Budi, where were you born?
Okay, so I was born in Bong Mines, actually.
Okay, so you are.
I grew up in Ganta, but my family are originally from Puto in Sino County.
Okay, so you are a pellet crew man.
So I'm not a pellet man. I can accept the Niba County and the crew, but not I ain't pellet.
You take Dr. Budi and put in the same basket as Jeremiah Bankon. Exactly.
Okay, exactly. Jeremiah Bankon.
Exactly.
Aliu Kamara.
No.
Samuel Boke Nambe.
No, I live from Guinea.
There you go.
Are they from Salou?
Yep.
The man say he's from Sierra Leone. Someday he's from Mali. I mean, he's all over the place. But ladies and gentlemen, we got some great games going. I'm watching Croatia and Slovenia.
Hey, girl, I'm sorry, man. Just 5 seconds. My mother-in-law is here visiting with us, my Jeanette. She watches the show, so I just want to say what's up, my Jeanette. And also my sister-in-law and the husband were here too, Dr. Yankwe Kabo and Miss Cole Kabo. So I want to thank them for stopping by, and also to my brothers and sisters back home. You know, we buried my niece yesterday, so I just wanted to thank them for giving her a homegoing that I believe, as much as we missed her, but I think it's befitting of
You see,
what she did to
you
us.
see,
So I want to thank them very much. Led by Tia, my little brother
Oh,
Tia. But
well,
thank you.
our sympathy, but I know exactly. You brought a sympathy to you, so we can laugh at you.
I'm on sympathy again, Mr. Lambert. Sorry about
Thank
that.
you, Evan, with no condition. That I level Evan, you get no condition. I'm not listening to no bastard man coming to say I'm a
Ali, the man know what side of bread he bought or he did mother-in-law first. You call him, he tell his mother-in-law, thank you very much. Your daughter too, Yes, guys. Let's share the show. Great games going on here. I'm watching Croatia and Slovenia. I was also watching Morocco. Morocco is leading 1-0. They're beating Denmark. Slovenia.
Talking about that, Jerome. The U.S. had 2 friendlies yesterday, both the men and the women, and they both lost.
Yeah, we lost to Germany. We lost to Germany. We lost to Brazil.
Brazil, yeah. And then we lost to Liberia, lost to Sierra Leone after the chairman complained so much about lack of resources. We lost to Sierra Leone, I think 1-0.
1-0.
Oh man, that was our reserve team, and that was not our first team.
Oh,
You
really?
see?
Okay.
So,
Because Upon was not playing.
there you go. So
Okay.
you had 11. The other people had 11 to be there. You say not. You say Petit sorry 19. Papa Cabra was 19. So who came? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are in for a treat. This week is okay. We're going to have a great time. But next we start in the World Cup, the 11th. It is going to be a month of straight entertainment of all kinds. Almost every country is now, and I like what the FIFA is doing. They have increased the teams from Africa to 10.
Yeah.
They have increased the overall participation. So basically, they are getting the whole world involved, and the money is coming in. If you want to watch one of the regular games in Miami, I think the cheapest seat, I think
let's start the show now.
the show is on. If you forgot, the cheapest seat, from what I understand, was like $2,700, $4,000 per seat. So definitely, even if Papa Kamara King, I would not pay that kind of money. I would never pay that kind of money.
What about Waning Boto can play for America and that?
That's why money.
But if John Weir came, I will pay that kind of money.
That's not joke. I can't keep back. Okay, guys, here we go. Honorable Eastman.
Yeah.
We have some great things going on in the country. We have some tough things, but it's all politics. I don't know where you guys want to start. You want to start with number 1? You want to start with number 2? You want to start with
Let's start with a lady or with a witchcraft business. That's a serious thing.
What make that serious?
We can discuss it, and we can share it.
What make it not serious?
No, I mean we're talking about the power that affecting millions of people in the country, and this incident is one person. Not every human being's life is important, but I'm just wondering, how are you weighting the seriousness of each of these topics?
I think it's very serious. We're going to discuss it, but let's go to number 1 on here. Let's go to number 1. Let's go to the dedication of the solar farm and the rededication of the Mount Coffee. Let me start with
this is near and dear to my heart. As you well know, I was part of the LEC up until Prince Johnson then came and took over the Bushrod plant, where I was still on duty. And needless to say, they didn't kill us, but
did they capture you?
Yes, I was captured.
Okay, my man Trump said we don't let anybody who was captured. Go ahead.
But the Liberia from power generation expansion is welcoming news. As a matter of fact, it is tied to a couple of other things. It's not just that solar plant, that 20 megawatt solar plant. There's also a planned 42 megawatt expansion of the Mount Coffee itself. And there's efforts to rehabilitate one of the turbine units to bring it back up to the 88 megawatts that was initially planned there. And there is a proposed 150 to 200 megawatt plan that further up the St. Paul. So this is the largest effort I've seen so far in Liberia to bring Liberia power generation this high. We're talking about a total of about 300 megawatts. Now, the only thing about this is we've generation is somewhat an issue, but we have another important issue with distribution, transmission and distribution. So if you build the capacity and you cannot deliver it, then the impact will be reduced. So transmission is where when you take the power from the hydro, you build it up to high voltage, maybe 69 kV, okay, 69,000 volts. And then you take it to a central distribution point. We call it a substation. And then you bring it down to what we call distribution voltage. That's about 12,500, and that's what goes to the neighborhood. They connect to the transformers, and you get power. So one of the major problems has been that we don't have enough transmission and distribution lines. So you can have all that power there, and it has not addressed the major problem that's been facing us. So it is welcoming news, but we still need to it has to be coupled to the build out of distribution and transmission lines. If not, then we stand to be at the same place. So the 20 megawatts, interesting and helpful, but we haven't addressed the main issue, one of the main issues yet. So that's my take. I would have loved to see that they're also embarking on a project to build out the lines. If you, beside roads, power expansion is one of the most expensive projects to undertake because you have to actually build a physical line. So that is going to be a major expense. And by putting it on the back burner for now, it's you're generating power but you can't use it. I would have preferred to see more lines, the power lines built out to the neighborhoods, and then we increase power capacity.
Great. Mr. Kamara.
Yeah.
Your take on the electricity, the grid, the new solar farm.
Yeah, just listening to Mr. Eastman, I was laughing and he kind of tickled me when they say, oh, the grid is not sufficient to supply the city alone, Monrovia alone, oh, the people can't, other money can't, and down the 80 money, the grid was low. They may increase the grade, they were not happy about the grade. I mean, I want to see how you will share it. Yeah. Everybody. So it's just tough, man. It's just tough. But his criticism seemed constructive. They didn't sound like booty. You got to get the power before you distribute it. You get it, you distribute it. So now that they got the power now, you watch them and see whether they will distribute the power. Don't forget to know the lines are running all over Liberia. It's just to capacitate those lines to provide the kind of electric the city needs that the people want. And now, let me tell you something. Maryland, all of Maryland got wire running all over the place. Their current is more stable than the current in Monrovia. That's because they're getting it straight from Ivory Coast. All the government has to do is to connect to those places. There's wire running from Monrovia straight to RIA. My place on RIA Highway, I almost get 24-hour electricity. So they are almost. Yeah, because some days they will go off and then come back later. But as anybody living on at that part of the highway, our current is usually stable. And So all I can say is say props to the old man for being such an old man with contemporary vision. He looked at the two major things that holds the entire country in terms of development: roads, electricity. You cannot have a good medical facility without stable electrification. And he has identified the issues. He's going to the root of the issues. And that is a great thing, man. So let us just give him a props and wait to see the next step, or possibly suggest during the next step. But to assume that they focusing only on the gray and they're not focusing on this, you're jumping ahead of yourself.
Let me go to first, Mr. Towell.
Yeah. Look, Kamara is drunk on his political position. Jimmy did not criticize anybody. You are not. No, you are not a technical person, so you don't even understand. You think everything is politics. He's pointing out the exact problem that Liberia have. You come here every day, you lie about, for the Guaca government. I also have a place on the RI highway. I actually have an office there. We barely get power. So where are you connecting directly from Joseph Boakai house or from the mansion? Which one? For the last 6 months, we have power. We don't have power throughout the whole day. That we have to run on solar and generate the power come like around.
What's the name of your office?
Hey, come on.
No, stop this. You come here and you stop this stuff.
Well, I just asked the message because what's the name of your office? Let me send somebody there right now.
You're trying to misrepresent what Jimmy said. He's saying the truth. The power from Ivory Coast. Why is it that we are not being able to actually use that power? It's because we lack the ability to distribute. Because when they signed that contract, I actually went and I read the document. First, I knew that.
You can't allow the man to lie on the show. Current in Nimba, current in Maryland, current in Pastor Grand. What do you mean not using it?
Will you stop interrupting me?
Let's see.
This is not a gangster Waka government that was running on the show.
That's not what they're eating today, bro.
No.
All right.
So what happened is that's the problem. We don't have. You have a whole neighborhood with all kinds of houses. You have a transformer that is supposed to power like about maybe 40 homes. It's trying to power 300-400 homes. That is the lack of ability to distribute, like Mr. Ismail is saying. So you don't understand this thing. This is not politics. Nobody's trying to blame one government over the other. We're trying to discuss the problem that our nation have and what needs to be done for it to run. So stop trying to get a gem out of shape the moment there is a problem that they mentioned, problem that been existing on other governments, but it's still existing on this one. When they mention it, you jump on immediately think that they're attacking your government. So stop this stuff. It's too childish. But look, this is what I would say about the power stuff. You see the solar farm, 20 megawatts. That's like nothing. Okay? You see this thing right here is going to be another failure because how in the world do they take 190 to 100 million?
Listen to that kind of talking the way he talks. Yeah. Don't make any sense when he talks.
Are you now? Listen, I'm going to mute you now. Don't do that, man.
How are they going to say that they spent 90 to 100 million for a 20 megawatt? Anybody with just common knowledge of electricity can see that thing costs less than 20 to 25 million. So where is the other money going? The same thing they did, they've seen Mount Coffee. How in the world they spend all that money and they still cannot produce? And then they came back with another con game. Look, then when they're going to the African stuff, you know what happened when the Strait of Hormuz went down? One of the problems we started having because we have to build our internal power network. We should not allow the IMF and the World Bank to tie us in with the companies and then strangle the Liberia ability to generate their own power that is of national security. I mentioned that, I will verify. What happened? They cut down what? Because they need their power. They cut down like about a couple of months ago almost. So when they cut back, what happened? Our power supply started to collapse. Mr. Ismail mentioned something very important. Now they're trying to go on the upper part of Mount Coffee. For the last 60 years, that is where that hydro was supposed to be built. And Ellen knew about this because Ellen was in the government when they were built, and she saw all the back and forth. And when they came back, when they were doing that Mount Coffee, they should have left that area. That is where they should have gone, because that's where the water have the most flows for it to generate, for you to put more turbine and bigger ones to be able to supply more power. They didn't do that. So as long as you see IMF, World Bank hanging around Liberia in these projects, they're always going to be a trap. And to rest on this, I'll go back to Jimmy's point. It doesn't matter how much hydro they put everywhere else. The most difficult part actually in power delivery is the distribution. It's not even building this stuff. That's the most, even here in the US, distribution is a major factor anywhere in the world. It's actually like building the stuff itself. It's like maybe 30%. Distribution is like maybe 70 to 80% of the work that need to be done. So if they're going to only build it and there is no help to distribute and they leave it with you, just like the power from Ivory Coast, what they told, they would just connect you, build all the main line, and then you are responsible to do the distribution. And Liberia don't have the capacity, or they don't have the desire and the ability and the people, the willingness for them to put in the money that is needed to do that. So if they do, it's like somebody bring your car, they give it to you for your birthday, but the car have no key. It said that you are boasting that is your car, but you can't drive it. That is what these things are becoming. So anybody that understands distribution is a major factor. So if you see somebody on the show trying to be all political instead of being realistic and understanding the technical aspect of the stuff, you don't listen to them. We come here for us to discuss what our country needs. We're not here to accuse no government, but if that problem exists under that government, we have to point it out.
Thank you.
Give me 30 seconds. They only attack me, insulted me. So let me just address something.
No,
1 minute.
Go ahead.
You can't speak for the man. They may call me childish, they call me all about character, everything. Why is your skin so thin that when somebody doesn't express your view, you get so aggravated? What's the problem with you? Are you okay?
Are you attacking first?
No. I'm talking to this other man called Tao. Mr. Ismail understood me. We're fine. He's the one angry. And I'm just wondering. You sit on the show and lie all the time, make random statements. You have no fact. You have nothing to back up what you say. You're an electrical engineer. You're a geologist. You got offices everywhere. When they ask you for your office, you have no office address. You say that the current from Ivory Coast is not being utilized, which is a lie. There are companies over there who are distributing current. Those places have more stable electricity than Monrovia and the surrounding. You just come and make fabulous statements. You can't defend them, and you jump into insult and personal attacks. Are you okay?
Mr. Kamara, Grand Bassa County, my hometown has the second largest distribution center from the Ivory Coast, and we don't have power. It's been there for 7 years.
But they tell them they didn't want to say distribution is the only thing. So ask them why is it not?
Mr. Gaiman, give me 2 minutes.
What Mr. Tower said is exactly right. Go ahead.
Give me 2 minutes.
Yes.
You know what I don't understand and why I was just pausing before responding. When people are addressing issues, they're telling you what it is. It's not about politics. It's not about politics. We're telling you just what Gavin told you just now. CLSG been in Bassa, but till now they're not able to distribute the power around. We're telling you what the problem is and how we can continue to help. I said it's a good thing that they do what they're doing. This is the most ambitious power generation project that Liberia has embarked upon. But all you hear is we need to do more, so that's a criticism on the government. So
but I also say you did
let me finish. So
I said that, right?
Your idea is if we should just be going slow, stagnated instead of addressing all our problems, right? Just because we don't want to be political enemies to the government. So in other words, you don't take the right advice if it's going to indicate that you need to do more.
I told you your criticism was positive. Didn't I say that?
Thank you. Mr. Nambe.
Nambe?
Yeah. Listen,
tell your mother-in-law to wait. You will soon be gone. So get on the phone with your mother-in-law.
Actually, she said to thank you guys for all that you do. She really appreciates, what you do. And so I guess that is a stamp of approval for you guys for what you do here. But let me say this: I would defer to Mr. Eastman, Mr. Tao. They have engineering background. You know, Mr. Kamara doesn't have. He's just a talking head sitting here. He's accusing people of speaking without facts. He's talking without facts. I was just looking it up here. Everywhere you look, we're losing almost 50% of the power generated to theft, and that is a problem. And I think that's what Jimmy and Joe are alluding to. You know, the day we discussed this, I think it was Friday night, maybe somewhere. But I give the government credit for seeing this project through. I think that's a good thing, but it wouldn't be worth the salt or the paper is written if they can address some of these problems that are being highlighted here by, you know, our colleagues here. So, Mr. Kamara, I think you need to really chill out. I think you starting to develop a very thin skin. You know, I don't think there's anything that Jimmy is saying or Tao is saying here that is intended to denigrate the government effort. I think we all appreciate what they're doing. As a matter of fact, I hope they'll be magnanimous enough to give credit to the government that actually negotiated this $96 million. This they're just dedicating what was started before them. But notwithstanding, they're the government here now. We have to give them the credit, you know, for actualizing this. And so I mean, I think credit is given to them because it's due, and they didn't abandon it. But we have to sound a note of caution. They have to address those problems that continue to bedevil us, for which it is so difficult to bring electricity supply to our people. There's a lot of problem with delivery, with theft. That is a problem. So I'm sure you have to come back to that, Mr. Kamara. I will pass it on back to you.
Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah, 1 minute. 1 minute.
Today, I think leave no stone unturned.
1 minute. Caleb, go ahead.
Yes, gentlemen, good show, good debate. I just want to add a few words to this. Are you hearing me, gentlemen?
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, if I may make a suggestion, I will even say Mr. Eastman should be considered a guest panelist today on this particular topic because he has vast knowledge and work experience with AEC. Here is other piece I want to add to what Mr. Eastman did mention. Mr. Eastman forgot to mention the availability of technically trained manpower because it's not just enough to build, power station, to build hydro maybe in contest of the previous government say we're competing, we did it, a lot didn't do it. I think that's a wrong policy option. I think what we need to do is to carefully, think out these things, the process. We should first see how many technical skills we have in the country. Here is my experience. I have a 10-bedroom apartment in the Fendor community that I built, I believe, around 2010. That 10-bedroom apartment, 7 of the rooms have been occupied by Ghanaian electricians since 2012. They have never left Liberia. And they are working in Riverside, in Maryland, in Lima, in Kima, in Monrovia. They just go all over. I saw the dead. Someone to go for a month, 2 months, they just pay my rent. Because they got that kind of skill training. From one day is a high tension technician. Jimmy will know that the other wire that is way up, that is under, it's a high tension wire. He is one of the experts that can run it. Okay? He has better knowledge on that. Then there are other guys who are there on step down distribution. So we don't have Nigeria because the training schools and Nigeria will have pre-war in terms of training electrician to that level. Most of these training school curriculums are outdated, and government has really imposed all Liberia. The government never really invests in this training. What they've done is really a political investment, whether it's Ellen Johnson, Sali, or we are and now Bwaka. We need to focus on training, giving skill training. We need to be intentional about what we want and how we're going to get there. And I think this is a missing piece on this, on the whole thing. You can even start to do, but remember, Now Ivorians who were there as refugees, they are working for Floor Toma, because these Ivorians have the technical skills. Those countries that are along the border, if you go to Maryland, I believe might be the same thing. You might have Ivorian technicians there. The benefit, you go to Nima, the best mechanic shop you find will be Guinea Pele boys. They are in Uganda, they're making a lot of money. They are into fabrication and all this stuff, because they learn that their country provided them that sort of training. We just focus on the politics. And I think that's a sad mistake. Even we are there with doing the same thing. When they go do so, you let the pilot 12 years, they do their thing. Now, so they are not intentional about what they want to do. They're not thinking on the process. I just want to add that, Jimmy, but that's a great process. You lay it out well, actually.
Thank you.
Mr. Given.
Yeah,
30 seconds, quickly.
Go ahead.
Mr. Nangwe came out here trying to do a normal political thing. The CDC started. What project the CDC start? He did not really tell us when and where. Because I know that this solar farm was started. I know that the solar panel was started by Joseph Buckeye. It was his idea, okay? And Jimmy said nothing wrong except for the fact that he's jumping ahead. Those guys over there, they're not that stupid to decide to improve the hydro to create a solar farm and not know that that distribution is an issue. That's the point I was trying to bring up to him when the radical came so bombastically and started saying things that were not even true. I want to know how can one man be a geologist? He's an electrician. He's all of this. Anything about engineering, he's an engineer.
He's a well-rounded man.
Jimmy is clear. Jimmy is an electrical engineer. So respect that. But this guy who knows everything about the IMF, the World Bank, and what happened before prehistory, this guy just got all the degrees. He got to make it clear to us that where really he is. And when you're speaking, the facts, give us detail, give us numbers that we can actually reference. Don't they be talking blah, 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 blah.
Thank you.
He's an ultra Mr.
Thank you. 1 minute. Mr. Tawo, respond real quick or you call your name so we can move on.
No, come back to me because what this man is talking, I can't even dignify it. The man
you better not.
You better not. Listen,
who told you that you don't read? I spend a lot of my time studying and reading.
How do you know me? How do you know I don't read? Do you know me?
Knowledge.
Come on now, Mr. Gamer. Let's not do that.
Okay.
Do you know me? You don't know nothing about me. I can't read.
Mr. Kamara.
You can't read.
Mr. Kamara. Mr. Kamara. Mr. Kamara, you sound irritated. Let me go to Dr. Budi. Dr. Budi. We are on the president's dedication and rededication. I know Mr. Kamara doesn't want to hear about if this contract started pre-Joseph Boakai. He doesn't want to hear, but that's the fact. I'm going to pull the contract out so you can see it.
Thank you very much.
That will convince me.
Dr. Budi.
All right. So, sorry. I thought you said you were going to put the contract up.
No. I didn't say that.
Okay. Yeah, I think I wouldn't talk about the distribution issue because I think Mr. Eastman nailed it perfectly. I think the only thing I can say on it is that Mr. Kamara is suggesting that it's okay to tell air passengers that come and pay for a plane ticket, but there's no plane to take you where you're going, right? So people are just going to buy a plane ticket to fly, but there's no plane to take you where you're going. So in his mind, because one of the things I know we've suffered from in Liberia when it came to the road issue was the fact that in parts of Liberia, people were producing a lot of food, but we couldn't get the food to the market, right? Which is why the food was being destroyed or spoiling and things like that. Hence, this whole idea of farm to market roads. There's no point in producing a lot of food if the food is just going to go to waste, right? So there's no point producing the electricity if it's not going to get into the homes and companies that need them. I think, look, if we look at this in objectively, right, having solar or renewable energy embedded into our system of generation of power is good for Liberia, right? Let's just put that to bed. I think since Mr. Kamara wants some facts. I can only speak about the solar panel project. It's a World Bank project, like Mr. Tao said. It was launched in 2022. Liberia, Sierra Leone, Chad, and Togo are the 4 countries that are benefiting from it. Joseph Boga did not apply for that to be a part of that project. Liberia was awarded the opportunity to be a part of it because Liberia was assessed as one of the countries that had very poor access to renewable electricity and needed this investment in our country. So it wasn't like, oh, George Weah didn't go to apply for it. Neither did President Boaka do the same. It was awarded. The 4 countries, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Chad, and Togo. I've got it open on my computer and I can put a link in the group if you
Yeah,
want
thank
that.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll do that. Yeah. So yeah, in terms of the
I'm looking at it, right? That's what I told you.
no, yeah, that's I speak to what I can provide evidence for.
It
Yeah,
was
so
it was pre
And
Joseph.
you did the train tower that way too.
No,
Oh, no,
I'm just
again-
Mr. Kamara, this was pre Joseph Boakai, so it's not about giving credit. It was awarded to the country.
But let the man finish. The PhD
No,
is speaking.
you try to make it sound like what we are saying is not true. It is true. Go ahead, Dr. Booty.
thank you, Mr. Gaiman. And like I said, I'll post that. But again, I want to look at it objectively. I remember, I think it was 2024 when this was first launched. We talked about it on the show, and I thought it was a great thing. At the time, to be honest, I didn't know that it was a World Bank funded project. I thought that President Barkai was the one initiating the project, and I gave him the credit on that show. I can't remember when it was for doing this. Having said that, without trying to labor the point, the distribution is an issue, right? But Mr. Kamara, I'll land on this point. Yes, you can be passionate about defending the government, and I think you should if you're a supporter of the government. But at the same time, you can't just state to an individual or to the people who are watching the show that something is inaccurate when you don't have data to contradict it, right? If you don't have any, like you said earlier, oh, Baka, I brought a World Bank evidence and I'll share it in a group, and people, you want to go, it's called Regional Emergency Solar.
You want to make it a point? You want to lecture me or what?
No, I'm not trying to lecture you, Mr. And again, I hope you will stop interrupting people today, right?
But you keep calling my name, is it interrupting people? I'll stay here, somebody just play with me. Not to do it.
Mr. Kamara,
even when it's calling you gotta wait until the land, then you can.
Let it go ahead.
Exactly, that's the point I want
Just
to
don't
make.
lecture me. Just make a point.
Mr. Kamara, when you were making your point, you called me by name. Right? You said, oh, Mr. Eastman said things the right way, not the way Booty can say. I didn't interrupt. I waited. Because we had our brother on last week, Anthony, who mentioned that people who come to watch the show don't appreciate when we're talking over each other. So I'm trying to learn from that, right? That's why, even though you called my name, I didn't say anything. I held my breath, right? And I hope you would do the same, just for our audience sake, for respect for them, so they can understand the points that we're making.
I heard you long time, man.
All right, yeah. I'll rest that, Mr. Kamara. Since Mr. Kamara wants to be rude.
No, Dr. Booty, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
One point for 3 minutes, just talking.
Listen, Dr. Booty, even the scripture says, say the poor will always be with us everywhere you go. So there will always be a Kamara everywhere you go.
Kamara, different Kamara today.
Land so I can go to.
No, I'll land there. Mr. Morris needs to comment. So
Mr. Morris, come on.
All right, thank you. Look, I'll use a word, I'll define it, right? It's a word called ultra crepidarian. It's a person who knows a little bit about something and touts himself to be an expert, on a lot of different topics. So in this instance, Mr. Eastman is the expert here. And although we can't always, take the word for an expert if he's blatantly wrong, but we have to see that he has the expertise in this area. And one of the things that the government said was that this was a damaged turbine, I think, that was repaired. So this was something that was out of commission for a few years, and it was repaired. And I think as Liberians, we should give the government props for prioritizing it and repairing it. But like Mr. Eastman said, having done the repair, now you have to expand, the distribution of the electricity that is generating. And you have to run wires, and you have to do a lot of other things to make sure that more communities can get the current. One of the things I'm curious about is that why is it at times we see current is more available? Some people say it's because of the rain or whatever. Like at the beginning of this president, administration, current was stable. A lot of people praised him that current was stable. It stayed long in the homes. And then later on, it became, unstable, and they started to ration from 6 a.m. You won't get current until 6 p.m. or something like that. And we have families in Liberia that we talk to, and they tell you that the current it goes about 6 a.m. in the morning or 6 a.m. in the morning, and it don't come back until later in the afternoon, maybe 8 p.m. like that. So, Mr. Eastman, you may know that. Why is it that you guys do that? Is it because you don't have enough in a hydro system? You don't have enough water to run the turbines? You're not generating enough electricity at certain parts of the year. Why is that happens? And also with the solar farm, like people are saying, it was something that was pretty much pre-planned, and Liberia was already on track to get it. And the administration that's in office right now was just there at the right time. Same thing with the coastal highway. At some point, if it ever happens, an administration is going to be in government, and they're going to benefit, optically from the development of that coastal highway. So Boyka is doing well. President Boyka is doing well in terms of repairing it and prioritizing it. But certainly the turbine, the solar farm, is something that was already pre-planned before he came into power. But overall, I want to know how we can expand electricity to more people and how we can keep it stable for a longer period of time. And maybe Mr. Eastman can answer that question and give us some insight. But I'll stop there for now, Mr.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mr. Tyler, go ahead.
Yeah. So look, Caleb who came on here and he added a major piece, but it is not that different from what Eastman said. Training the technicians and these people that handle everything, that's part of the distribution. That's part of the distribution team. So it's spot on. We lack the ability to distribute. Mr. Morris' question that he asked, there's several reasons why it would be that way. One of them is, look, when power is generated, it don't come straight from Mount Coffee to the houses. The power go to holding area, just like when you draw water. Power, that is why they call it current. That's why water have current. It's stored. And then wherever they need it, that's where they move it. So they're doing load shedding, meaning the other don't have enough. So if you see like around town, right? Around Ghana, Bonneville area, where they have businesses for like the last 2 to 3 months, power is there during the day because they're supplying the businesses. In the evening, a lot of time the power go because now the businesses have closed and they're moving power away from that area, and people on Rafi Highway and other places, the power come in that area. So they're doing load shedding. One of them could be, remember what I just told you, that when the whole war started in the Middle East, the Ivorians needed their power more because of the oyster. So they cut Liberia supply from like what? I think 40 megawatt to like around 15 or 10. That's a lot that you are losing. So all these factors are in. But when you're talking about the solar farm, if you remember here, about almost 2 years ago, I came here and I mentioned that they're trying to do a solar farm. The proposal was 100 million. World Bank is not giving anybody money. This is money that they're crediting to Liberia and to all these places. So let us get that clear, because in Liberia, each time you will hear that the World Bank gave us, the World Bank gave us. No bank gave nobody anything. So let's clarify that part. So I mentioned that. My point I'm making about the solar farm here is that it is over bloated for 40 megawatts for almost 100 million. So the World Bank is taking something that if you had 100 million, you can build two like 40 megawatt hydro. So they're putting into a solar farm that have a very low output to so-called supplement an area where you really cannot generate enough power already. The struggle that Mount Coffee having is that the water power over there is weak. That's not the right area to build it. So they still are putting more money into that area that they already spent over $1 billion. That is the point I'm making. I'm not being political here to say, is this government that government? We are addressing the issue that we have, and the mistake is being made continuously.
Absolutely.
So if the World Bank want to give you 100 million in loan, that money would have been taken. You can build 220 megawatt or 40 megawatts power plant. I mean, or hydro.
Thank you.
And
Let
you
me
can
go-
put one in the middle
let
of in the southeast, and you can put one maybe in the north that will grab Bonn and Lofa and all these places.
let
Let
me
me
go
just quickly add to what Mr. Tower is saying. Approximately 700,000 to 1.2 million per megawatt. So a 20 megawatt plan would therefore cost roughly 14 to 24 million. We're
Yes,
talking about $100 million.
for solar farm.
How in the world with a 20, and Mr. Tower is on point, with a 20 megawatt solar farm costs $100 million. There's something wrong with that math. And to answer my brother Morris' question, yes, the water level in hydro affects the number of turbines you can run at a time. The hydro there has a maximum of 88 megawatts if all 4 turbines are running. Well, as the water level decreases due to lack of rain or whatever, you may need to shut down one of those. What we used to do is to bring in our thermal units. We have thermal units on Bushra Island, but they're small units. We had a gas turbine and we had some diesel units. Mitsubishi gave them to us, but they were only about 4 or 5. Then we had the loop plant. Each one of them could produce 15 megawatts, and we had 3 of them. But again, thermal production is expensive because you're burning fuel. So, in other words, your average cost of producing electricity now is going up. So we have to subsidize in the dry season to bring to meet the power demand. We did that all the time. But now that is why this diversified approach, bringing in solar energy as well as using hydro and with the diesel units is welcomed. But the thing we have to examine, even though you might need something, but if they're going to charge you $100 million, you have to look into it and say, why is it $100 million if you have to pay it back? This thing has been happening to our forefathers, our generations before us. Are we getting the best deal, or are we just getting because you say because my mom's sick, so I will forget about how much the doctor charged me? Yeah. So we need to evaluate if we're getting a good deal, unless they will keep on putting finger in our eye and we'll stay in perpetual debt. So that's why we have to make an intelligent decision, even if we getting it for loan, but it has to be a reasonable loan. Remember what they killed E.J. Roy for? He took a loan that they couldn't hardly pay back. It was he took a $500,000 loan. They ended up getting less than $100,000. What do you call that? That's draconian. So we have to make better decisions going further. That's all we have to do. So nothing is free, as they say in economics. Nothing is free.
Great. Ladies and gentlemen, we are doing well. We'll move on. We may come back to this, but listen, we didn't even touch on maintenance. We didn't even touch on as everything else. You saw a few months ago that beautiful building for the NEC, the National Elections Commission. You see the outward appearance of that building. It looked filthy. It looked dirty. It was never maintained. Just like the executive mansion, just like the Capitol building, we have a maintenance issue. And anyone who is familiar with solar panel, it needs to be maintained. It needs to be clean. When you start collecting dust and leaves and all that stuff, it will not generate the power you need. Nobody is talking about the maintenance plan, how these things are going to be maintained. Who's maintaining them? How long? How often are they maintained? What's the rotation? Nobody thought. We are just good at dedicating stuff.
30 seconds, Mr. Given.
Yes, go ahead.
30 seconds. So I can't draw the map here now for you to see, but I can tell you something easy, very easy. Okay, this is what I wanted to say before you go to the next topic. If you go to a place called 40 Town, there's a road going called Wentan Road. There's a way in the back called Wentan. When you follow that Wentan Road, you will see a new street there that was built by Aliyu Kamara. You will see the name of the street is named after my grandmother. It's called Mayo Vengele Street. I built a street and put my grandmother's name on that street. Then my house number is 107 Mayo Vengele Street. You can drive straight there from the direction I did. You see all the signboards. You go straight into my yard. I can tell you now, go there, ask the people. I said, listen to me now. I get almost 24-hour currents every day. Let them give me an address. Let you send somebody to my address. Give it to you.
Oh, guys,
Let
come on. Let's not,
the name of his company. I will send somebody. Let's find out what I got in the company.
Let's not do this. Move forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, I live in.
Now, I put another challenge now.
Listen, I live in Tingo Village. I also have LEC. And I do not have LEC, and I have water and sewer. I do not have those things regularly. So anybody can tell you that. Okay. So, gentlemen, this is where we are at this point. Let's go to number 2 on here. Sometimes I know people say we like to criticize, but sometimes I mean, it's like a sore in an eye. It stands out. This guy called a news conference, went on the radio, went to the television station, and he said that the LDEA has addressed ghetto. In fact, eliminated ghetto. There's no more ghetto in the Republic of Liberia.
That's right.
I was shocked. So,
isn't it laughing?
yeah. This man said that there's no more ghetto, and he wants to thank the president for appointing him. They did something extraordinary. They got rid of ghettos. For those of us who are sociologists or into the social sciences, for someone to say that to me, like the whole of Gibraltar was gone, Newtown gone, Point Folk gone, Lokitan gone, because ghetto in its actual sense is a place where the poor and the minority come, where crime festers, where things happen. So for this man to say that since his appointment, ghetto has been eradicated, I was shocked. But let me go to Aliyu Kamara. Maybe he has his own idea.
That's right.
The LDE, there's no more ghetto in Liberia.
Okay, first of all, LDA did not say that don't ghetto in Liberia.
That's what he said.
No.
What did he say? You pull it up. It's right here.
In Liberia?
That's what he said.
But I saw he was talking about Monrovia.
Okay, Monrovia.
Specifically. Okay. All right, now one. Yeah, you know you. Anyway,
go ahead. Go ahead.
The truth is, if you look for the dictionary definition for the word ghetto, then it doesn't apply to what the man was saying. We know what ghetto is in our setting. You know it very well. You, Mr. Ismail knows it very well. We're not talking about community where decent people are. When I talk about ghetto, there are those places where people who smoke drugs, people who do drugs, that is our standard for a ghetto in Liberia. If you're looking for the universal definition, that's what you want to use as your political something. But I can tell you personally, most of the ghetto that I knew that we used to be careful to walk around and go around, they no longer exist. And in fact, there is no hiding place for anymore. There is no station that you say, oh, the Zogos living here. These are all their mud huts and everything. None of those exist anymore. And I can tell you, there's no country that is free of drugs, but I can tell you now, in the entire sub-region, Liberia is better off now than any other country in terms of containing the influence of drugs.
How? What is your reliance?
Well, wait for me. You want my reliance?
Numbers? No, give us numbers.
But wait for me now. Wait for me. Hey, man, it can take you out of track. I'm not telling you that I have the numbers, but I can only. I'm listening now.
You were just holding Mr. Towel.
No. But Mr. Towel and me, the difference between Mr. Towel and me is that I don't know everything, and Mr. Towel knows everything. So he's mostly held accountable because he knows it all. Me, in my case, you already know I don't know it all, and I make that known. I'm not one of the guys that know 4 or 5, 6 different careers. I went to school for healthcare administration, and I know it very well. But I can't tell you I know everything that a medical doctor knows. Mr. Tao know everything any engineer know. Even the guy that go on the moon, Mr. Tao know what to do. So that's a whole different situation. What I'm trying to tell you here is, look, like Mr. Ismail does sometimes, even though I disagree with him, but he will give the props. He will come up with positive criticism. And sometimes when you get political, I go after him. But for you, it just have to be condemnation. For Nangbe, it's condemnation. Go to Monrovia today, the way people were stabbing people from under broad daylight in Monrovia, it's not happening. I'm not saying that there is no crime because I'm about to ask me for a number. I'm not telling you that there is no crime. There will always be crime. But I am telling you, Liberia is by far safer today. Where people walking in the streets 10, 11 o'clock in the night. It didn't happen 3 years ago. By 7 o'clock, everybody go close to their homes because the city was dangerous. Let's give the man his props when he does a good job.
So 3 years ago, I was in Monrovia. I was in the street after 2 a.m. So that's,
Yeah, whatever, man.
I'm coming to you, Dr. Budi, Mr. Kamara. Victor Namwe and I were just in Liberia. We came by the end of January. If I hear our own lot of the assignment, so maybe the ghetto disappeared last week because when I was there, one of the assignments that I had was to identify monuments in the Republic of Liberia, and we couldn't even get to JJ Robert monument because they have been taken over by the Zogos. But anyway, let me go to Dr. Budi. Dr. Budi, the LDEA message there's no more ghettos in Liberia, in Monrovia, and its environs.
I think the question I wanted to ask Mr. Kamara was what year exactly that he was talking about that people, because I go to Liberia almost every year, and I was there last year, the year before, and the year before, and it's not something to brag about, but we the one that can be in the street at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I don't know who can run to their house at 7 o'clock. I honestly don't know. So he needs to please share that with the audience so that we can know those people who do that, right? Look, I don't believe it. Let me just put it that way. I would like to see some facts, like Mr. Nangbe alluded to, and I will go and check to see what he said and what evidence he provided to support what he said. Because first of all, and I know Mr. Kamara is waiting because what? Let me just say something quick. He said when Mr. Nangbe asked the question, "You're trying to throw me off track." So he understands that when he interrupts people, it throws them off track. So that's his strategy. So at least we know now that he's doing that on purpose because he wants to throw us off track because he knows that what we're saying makes sense and he doesn't have a defense. So the best way, because as soon as Nangbe says, "Oh, you're trying to throw me off track," so he understands interruption throws people off track. So let's just clarify that. But look, back to this. Did he provide any evidence to say, okay, look, we had 15 at the start, right? We had 15 ghettos at the start. Now we have 0, right? Because if he didn't, then I can't believe him. Because any of us in here who run businesses, who work as employees, who direct or who run projects, you always have a baseline, right, that you work with, right? When you start a piece of job or when you start a new employment or start a new business, your ground zero is here. And then when you get to this level, you can compare it with ground zero. But if you just come up and say, "Oh, there are no more ghettos," okay, how many ghettos were there, right? And then how many did you eradicate? And can we go and check to see? Like Mr. Kamara said at 7 o'clock we can go to bed. We know that ain't true because some of us can go to bed at soon. But can we go to these ghettos and actually check and see that, oh no, they're not ghettos anymore, they're playgrounds for children, right? Or they've built clinics there now, so they're not ghettos anymore. Or they've built a new road, so that place is not ghetto anymore. Or they built a new low-cost housing estate. That's why it's not. There has to be some form, because again, you can go into a place, and correct me if I'm wrong, but when we were growing up and police used to go and raid ghettos and stuff like that, they will go in, they will raid the place, the guys will run away. And in Liberia, police normally when they finish doing anything, they go, as soon as they move from there, they may go back and start doing the same thing they were doing. So that's my experience of growing up in Liberia. I don't think it has changed, right? So yes, you might go in and raid. Yes, you might get the 2-3 people and take them to prison. But we know that these guys don't do this on a sustained basis, right? They're not going to post LDEA officers outside of those former ghettos to ensure that nobody comes back there. Once you turn your back, the people go back and start doing the things they're doing. So how is there no ghettos? So maybe when someone who has the evidence can provide it to show us that, yeah, but I don't believe him.
Yeah.
I didn't interrupt him because he said he don't believe it. That would be a waste of my time.
Let me go to Mr. Morris. Mr. Morris, I don't care how you skin this cat. It is still a cat. A ghetto is a conglomeration of poor people in one particular area. Usually, they are the honor class, and within that honor class, there's something in sociology called social deviance. They're all over the place. They will sell drug, crime, everything happened in that area. That's why it is referred to as ghetto. But in Liberia, just as they have always done, everything is done backwards. Kamara is trying to convince me that ghetto is maybe a few guys sitting somewhere smoking crack. You run them
They
out.
actually build the place. They get a mad buffer all that. You know. Don't know, man.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Morris.
right. So I've been one of the few people. Well, I won't say one of the few, but I've been somebody who supported CDC to give this government credit when it comes to the LDEA. I think we've seen more action. We've seen more drug bust. We've seen more prosecution, of those who are, alleged to be drug dealers. So they have my appreciation for the work they're doing. It's hard to quantify living here in the United States whether there's any more, there's any ghetto left in Monrovia proper. I don't know if I would believe that just on the face of it. But there's a difference between a ghetto and a drug den, right? As a kid, I remember there was a lady that lived in our neighborhood. She had a respectable looking house. She had a little market that she sell little things like pepper and whatever. But in the back room, that's where people went to get high, as we called it back in those days. They smoked the strong opinion. That's what she had people going back there. So it may not be a ghetto in terms of the whole place. It's not like Mr. Kamara, Mr. Gayman is saying the whole place is not dilapidated and festering with crime and poverty, but you still have drug den, I'm sure, in Monrovia. And maybe they need to do more work, more technical work to get those people arrested and prosecuted also. But certainly on the face of it, the optics of it, I think this government has done a better job, fighting against illicit drugs. And maybe so much we're not seeing it on social media now about, the kind of
Watching the poor, eh?
Say that again.
I said you're not seeing Zogoda potting the poor, eh?
Yeah, we're not really saying it on social media as much in terms of.
Mr. Morris, that was not the topic. The topic,
Mr. Gibby, I know, I hear you.
The topic is not whether they have done well. He said there's no more ghetto in Monrovia and its environment. That's what he said. He said they have eradicated. He said we have eradicated ghettos.
Yeah, that statement, like I said, may not be 100% factually true, but certain symptoms are showing in the society that things are getting better when it comes to the drug issues, especially in places that were notorious. And I think they've done a good job. Let's give them credit for that. Maybe his statement was an over exaggeration, but certainly I think the drug situation seems to be going in the right direction and getting less people off drugs and really targeting those hotbeds of illicit drugs and illicit activities in the city. So kudos to them for doing that.
Look, if Trump can say the war is over, then they go bomb Iran the next day.
All right. Dr. Moody, for those of us who are socially inclined, this is our field of study, right? By you taking the drug dealers or Red or Broad Street doesn't mean they don't exist. They just move to another place that where you, like I say, you move down out of drug.
As long as it's not an established ghetto, that's fine.
You see, so Dr. Moody, go ahead. His success.
I've already made my point. I just want to respond to what he just
better
said.
Than nothing.
As long as the drug using is going on anywhere else, but not in a gathering.
That's not what I said.
But that's what you just said.
Think I can allow? I mean, wow, it's not right there.
Not just hear him say it.
That's not what I said. You're phrasing it.
You just said as long as they're not happening in the ghetto.
No,
okay.
No, that's not what I meant. That's not what I said. The people who are responding to honestly what I said.
You said or not what you meant.
And I know you know what I'm saying. I know you know what I'm saying. Go ahead with the show, Mr. Gimme. They may know what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
So I think that my turn is coming to right. So
we'll come on, Dr. But yeah, go ahead,
Dr.
Eastman.
Booty
No, I
already
already had my go on this, Mr.
Yeah.
Gaiman. Yes, I
Look,
already. I said I don't believe it. Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah.
I think the LDEA deserves some recognition for reclaiming public spaces and reducing the visibility of drug activity, you know. But it raises this important question: have the drugs disappeared, or have they merely changed addresses? You know, the fight against drugs cannot solely be won by destroying structures. We need a more sustainable approach will be more than demolition. It will be arrests. It will be burnings. It would be law enforcement accompanied by intelligence gathering, border security, prosecution of traffickers, financial investigations, and effort to dismantle the very organization that finance and profit from this trade. So, yeah, you move the people, but I just what Dr. Booty saying. They regroup again. So we don't want superficial changes. I noticed a lot of the governance is shows symbolism. We don't want symbolism. We want it thoroughly eradicated. We want the economic circumstances that allow these things to happen to our youth and our people to change. We want fundamental change, not superficial change. Okay? I mean, it's one thing to say, yeah, we broke down the ghettos, but has the drug abuse being reduced in the country? I think something like what they enforced the other day, I did right now, if you're caught with even marijuana, you can't even smoke shushi. What they call that?
Shisha.
Yeah, you can't even smoke shisha right now in the bars. I think that is a huge, impactful step toward reducing drug use and smoking use in the country. If we something like this, if it is followed up with laws, enforceable laws that reduce the use of drugs and the availability of drugs, then we're going somewhere. But we don't want something symbolic. We want something that will be sustainable and that will have a major impact on our kids.
Thank you, Mr. Ismail. Thank you very much. Gerald, 30 seconds. 30 seconds. No, I don't want. Mr. Ismail is concerned, and I want to, reduce some of the things he's concerned about, so you understand. There were three hot spots where drugs were really coming into the country by land. Those places now, for over a month, there have been no drug activities through those places. Maryland, Nimba, Lofa. Now, the next focus now has been the airport and the seaport. Remember, I know you follow the news. The LDEA has been catching people, including Kalando gas tankers. Man, you know what been going on, Mr. Eastman. The issue of drug war is serious, and even the people who are selling these drugs and stuff, they're getting concerned. Everything you just expressed, the government is aware, the LDA is aware, and that's exactly what they're doing. I don't even know how you managed to actually grab the entire administrative concept of the thing, but that's how they're rolling. They have LDA at the Freeport of Monrovia. They have LDA at the airport, RIA. They have LDA at all border checkpoints. In fact, they're catching those things even in fuller cars crossing the border from Guinea to Liberia. So everything, all of the concerns have been addressed.
Why fuller car? Why not Manigo car?
But the few people they call are fuller. They didn't catch nobody. If they catch it, they catch it. Okay.
Mr. Tawo.
Yeah.
Mr. Tawo, 1 minute. Let me let it find for those of us who are in this trade, which is for the social sciences, right? Sociologists will look at drugs, we look at it from two perspectives, right? It's supply and demand. We're talking about all of these things. And the actual solution to this in the ghetto is usually treatment. Okay, we're not hearing anything about treatment. We're not hearing anything about rehabilitation.
With the game and quickly, I think Anthony Gay is in the bag. I think he's in the bag.
Darryl DeLong is doing
I will take care of it.
Yeah. So, Mr. Tawo, I have not heard I have not heard anything from the government about the supply and demand. I didn't hear anything about treatment. I have not heard anything about any of those things. Only the law enforcement piece that we are hearing, which is to me not even it wouldn't even suffice. Go ahead, Doc.
Okay, so even the, look at what happened here. The guys, they're very incompetent. You think we should sit here and just throw stuff around that, like Mo Ali said, that 75% or 80% of the country receiving water. Then when they just throw stuff around, and then when they start to question them, then they start saying rainwater and creek and all this nonsense. It's the same thing. Like Dr. Budi said earlier, where is the baseline that he's using? Because these are people that are being paid, their budget created, they're supposed to have all of the mappings and the numbers, so that if they come and they make these kind of statements, they're supposed to actually have a whole presentation that they are giving to point out. That's one aspect. So I'm just trying to address what they're saying. So no, it's not true, because they didn't present anything. So it's not true. They're just making mere statement that is empty. But this is the point that I want to make. Jimmy touched on it briefly, and I just want to go into a little bit. And you, Jerome, you touched on it also. What actually led to or is leading to the drug issue? I'm talking about in terms of the users, mainly. These are social and economic issues that actually powering this for our youth. So for a person to make a claim that there is no more ghetto, that drug use is gone and this and that, where are the social programs, where are the different programs that were put in place that actually show from the beginning up to now the different stages and methods and strategies that they have used, and the people that have gone through these stages to graduate from out of that and then place into useful and meaningful positions? It doesn't exist. So the stuff is nonsense. Because we're not sitting here, I'm not sitting here for me to discuss politics. I'm sitting here for us to look at the issue. So if the economic issue still exists, if all of the conditions still exist, and none of them have been solved, so about some guy jumping up, going in, and we know how it's done. They go in, they combine people that are setting a lay water market and stuff, they rob them of everything, they take their money and stuff, put in their pocket, they scatter these kids. All they're doing, they're pushing them from an area where they were concentrated, where they could actually be helped, and they're pushing them into neighborhoods and environments that will later become infested. So they're just transferring. That is all that they're doing, because nothing is actually being addressed. How do you have a government that have a major stuff like water, like sanitation, like drugs, and they keep saying that they're solving these problems, but they don't show you no data. They don't show you anything. There is nothing. There is no proof. There is no record. They just make claims. This is what we also know. This stuff is nonsense. Just like the same way Mo Ali made the statement. And just watch, when they start to question this guy and they start to zero in for him to show something, you start hearing him say that it was one place behind the mansion. And then that's it.
Thank you. Let me welcome Mr. Anthony Gay. Anthony Gay, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Gimmy. Thank you, gentlemen, for holding the show down. I've been away for a while.
Yeah, you've been away for almost a year since the election.
I know, right? But my dear brother Evans, came on board when I left too, so it kind of balanced the equation.
Okay, it's all right. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Go. You been next. Let me go to Victor. Victor, I think Mr. Taiwo has some point here. These folks throw these numbers around. I mean, no number. They just say things. Just imagine the director of the LGA go into a studio and say, ghettos have been eradicated in Monrovia and the environs. And you and I were there, we see something totally different. And we know very well how these things are done. For this man to have said this, basically his title on his name was deputy director, so he's acting. I think he wants his job. And he's praising the president for appointing. He said he was appointed. Everything is going smoothly. You are muted.
Oh,
Clearly,
It
clearly.
looked like he's frozen. Anthony Gay.
No, he's not frozen.
No,
I'm here.
No, I'm
I'm
talking
here.
to Mr. Nangwe. Mr.
yeah,
Nangwe.
because Mr. Gamer said you're coming back to me. So
Yeah, I'm coming to you right after Mr.
Yeah.
Nangwe. Yeah,
So
go ahead.
yeah, I'll get back to you quickly. But clearly, I think this gentleman is angling. I mean, there's no business in fact in the declaration is making it. That's disgraceful. But then again, this is the mean state of this government. The president himself, he mounts the podium in the state of the national address. He said he created 70,000 jobs. The president said that.
And that was true.
The president said that. Then the managing director, LWC, somebody just said that here. He's got to put on his Facebook page. Rainwater, that's why he's counting as people having access to water in Liberia, 76% of the people. So, either these people don't have numbers or when they do try to use numbers, they fudge the number. It's just a sad state. It's disgraceful. I don't know what Mr. Kamara is trying to do here, but you need to tell your people.
And why you sleeping on the show? Why you sleeping on the show?
Yeah, so I'm not sleeping. I'm sitting right here listening to you, having so much difficulty trying to defend the indefensible.
Mr. Nangwe, don't forget the water and sewer method. He dug 70,000 feet in the ground.
Exactly. The man went to Foya, wherever, dug a well, 2 wheeler, the well could not produce water. So, so I listened to this man. I would listen more to Hussein Fadiga, who had said he believed about 20% of the Liberian population is on drugs. They're in the ghettos. And again, we're talking about the definition of ghetto here. And I think we're restricting it to drug use, but ghetto it goes way beyond that. But I'm sure he's talking in this light that drug use has become reduced in Liberia. Fadiga said about 20% of the Liberian population, that's about over 1 million people. And I think that
you believe that?
From what I see in the street, it's not difficult to believe.
But you can't believe the LDEA.
Yeah. But back to you, Mr. Gay, man.
Yeah, Mr. Gay.
Is it bias?
Mr. Gay.
Wait a minute, back to the host that bias again?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to host. So you can believe the other man, but you can't believe the people there now. Because the people there now,
the other man is talking with numbers. You're not talking with numbers.
Mr. Gay.
That's your true number out, man.
Anthony Gay, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, but Mr. Kamara still talking. Like the reason why I was just letting him to finish his thought.
Good job.
Oh, you want me to chime on the subject? Absolutely.
Yes.
Why
did you come on this show?
That because I was a Kamara.
I know. So the last time, my dear brother, Leo Johnson, I always admire his courage to speak to this issue. Leo reached out to the Canadian government to help Liberia with the drug issue. And to find out, the first thing the Canadian government asked him was, what is the data? What are we looking at? How many people are infected? Around how many disinfected you in the country? Leo reached out to the government. The government has zero data. So the work that the people should have started ever since, they're not doing that work. Leo tried to talk to the people and they are convinced they're in Liberia gathering data to even know how many people are considered quote-unquote Zogo in Liberia or on drugs in Liberia. The government don't have a data. That's the first step. This is not this. This is a man who doing a work in Liberia, who took his time and said, you know what, my country needs help. Reach out to the Canadian government and to seek help from a foreign nation to help our country. And they reach out to the government, and the government has zero data as to how many people consider Zocos in the country. This is sad for our nation, right? So, Mr. Kamara, we don't come here to bash this government. This drug issue is now partisan thing. It can be any of my family member, it can be any of your family member, and any of our friends or family member that you know, child or siblings, can be on drug. This is a epidemic in our country that needs serious attention. Serious one too. And for us to sit here and play politics with drug issue, for me, it really bothered me because it's a serious crisis. Look at how young these people, the median age in Liberia is 19. Study has shown by 2040, there will be an African in almost every part of the globe. everywhere. The continent of Africa is growing. And it's very youthful, very youthful, very youthful. So for us to sit here and look at the younger generation fading away and heading a dangerous path, two things happening in Liberia. We lost 2 generations of young people who did not have the opportunity to go to school because of the civil war. Then drug is another factor. And then we sit here and play politics with this thing. I'm not saying all of these things were caused by President Bouaka. That's not what I'm saying here. But these are issues that have been existing for a long time. The drug issue started from the whole war situation, and Bouaka served as a vice president right after the war for 12 years with Madame Salih and became now president. So if there's anyone who understood Liberia's problem, who anybody can lecture about Liberia's problem, it's the old man. And one who have taught that he will come hitting the ground running and understand these issues. But when we start putting out numbers that does not exist, you can't tell me the current employee of the government right now is around 64, 65,000, thereabout. Then the government said they created 70,000 new jobs. So that means you created more jobs than the entire government of Liberia. And we can't find those jobs. We can't find them. And then you start telling us, oh, more adding to us, 76% of the people have water. More adding, when you speak, you automatically talking water and sewer. You're not talking about somebody wearing a backyard. So for me to hear the LDA people saying, oh, they eradicated all the ghettos in Monrovia or in Montserrat County, that is sad. You cannot say these things without data. In as much as I want this government to succeed, I will now wish that they mislead the public. This is not good for our nation. Everything is not politics. You will give me a specific role, take on your role, do what you can. If your term is over, if the people deserve, to give you, if the people think that you did a good job, they're going to give you another chance, they will give you a chance. But the Ministry of Information, when they go to give briefing, they're just there to insult people. You can't gain nothing from listening to them. Everything they do, they insult people every day. When you try to find out what's happening, they say, oh, go to FOIA and find out what's happening to the border. When you ask about drugs, oh, go help your people. So why are we going on with all of this? Ministry of Information cannot help anyone. Drug people also lying to us. Why are we going to go with this? So, Mr. Gaiman, that's what I have to say on the issue. This government need to do better. When you're doing good things, we'll praise you. Like I always said, the Bouaka administration have done good job by keeping petroleum product and other major commodity on the market. Nobody's standing long queue for it. Kudos to them. They've done a good job on that part. And so some of you that can say we can praise this government, yeah, my again reaffirming that again, that the government have done a good job making sure that major commodities on the market. We can talk about pricing later, but at least.
Mr. Gaiman, 30 seconds.
The end is my guy used to it.
Dr. Moody, you take us on this particular issue from the beginning. For those of you who like data, right? From the beginning of this administration, there was the deputy director, the LDA, no, the director, deputy director, one of those. He said, based on the data that I'm looking at or that I'm collecting, he said this government has to come with a comprehensive plan for drugs. He said because drugs have permeated the judiciary, we use drugs. The executive, they use drugs. The police use drugs. The LGA, he said all of these people, when he came up with the data, a week later, he was fired.
No. We all know that was fired for insubordination. We heard the tip, Mr. Gaiman. Come on.
There you go. Dr. Moody, the gentleman came out and laid out this, that this thing had to be addressed systematically. The man said it was systemic. He said even the legislative branch,
they use the drug.
That's what he said. I didn't say
that's what you saying.
Mr. Gaiman, you and Mr. Eastman, you need to learn the mute button on the thing so you can be more.
It's getting. I got something on my phone now. You mute me. I will mute everybody.
Yeah,
At once.
yes, it's getting it's unbecoming now.
Get try,
It's
Mr.
very
Gamer.
disrespectful.
Go ahead.
It's very
Go ahead.
disrespectful. Look, Mr. Gay man, and Mr. Gay, nice to see you again. It's been a while. Thanks for coming. Thank you for your points. I think you laid a very salient point in terms of this fellow who wants to help Liberia and there is no data. The issue, there are so many things. You didn't even talk about Ebola, right? And the psychological impact that had on young people who lost family members. You didn't talk about COVID and the psychological impact that it had on young people. As long as this government is unwilling, and previous government as well, not just President Barker's government, as long as governments in Liberia are unwilling to come up with a holistic plan to address youth unemployment, young people in the United Kingdom, for example, who turn to drugs, people who are idle, there's nothing to do, right? They don't have prospects. The youth unemployment in the UK is high, right? It's not a Liberia problem only. It's not unique to Liberia, Mr. Kamara. This is a global problem. Countries across the world are struggling to find opportunities for young people. The way that you approach this thing, you have to be holistic. So you have to treat it because drug use is
I'm calling,
considered
man.
a health concern. So there are treatments for these things, and then you need to couple that with
Mr. Towers said,
opportunities for
people to be rehabilitated.
Mr.
Mr.
Kamara, can you
Kamara,
mute yourself? Thank you. Yeah, so opportunities for people to be rehabilitated. I believe that, look, the government might have made some effort in putting some fear in people who are using drugs by going and kicking the doors down and things like that. I don't think they've eradicated drug use in Liberia, in Monrovia. I think they need to try and be honest with these things, especially because it is killing the generation that is supposed to come up to take the reins of nation building. So look, I'll just leave it there. I think enough has been said on this topic, and I think we should just move to the next topic. But yeah, I still don't, I can't believe what this fellow said without any evidence to support the claims that he's made.
Great.
Tell us about Mr. Gamer.
No, my brother, leave the 30-second period.
Let me start with Victor. Victor, let's do number 3. We discussed number 3 on
He's
another
trying to
show.
respond to everybody coming.
Yeah, but
Come to me, my CMC brother.
yeah, my CNC, but let's discuss this one. Listen, the honorable doctor.
Why you let her put your position under there? You think everybody want to know your position?
I got your own there too. Right under me, we got your own there.
Somebody challenging me.
Yeah,
is what you said. There's
hold on, guys.
community. I can hear you. I don't know
Hold
if
on.
myself. I can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, pull him out. He can come back in. We can hear.
Yeah,
We can hear
Mr.
you.
Mr.
I can
Namwe.
hear Mr. Gimmon. I gotta exit and come back. I can hear Mr. Gimmon.
Okay. Mr. Namwe.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Reverend Dr. Tapper. Dr. Tapper went to the
The mainstream in the Pubu water.
Dr. Tapper went to the House of Representatives and he requested $10 million. Dr. Tapper said they have been sleeping in hotels in 4 different countries and the Lone Star have not been able to pay. So my question to him was, so how did they get out? They just use the people hotel, eat their food, and then at midnight they just check out. What happened is that we ought to between $5 and $10 million in hotels, meal, transportation in 4 different countries. This was the most asinine thing I've ever heard, to see a national team checking into a hotel and checking out. God. Listen.
Somebody interrupted. It's intentional.
Yeah, it got to be the Joseph Wagner people, but it's all right. You can go ahead and talk. And he said they check out at night. I mean, I don't know. I'm just being facetious here, but he says
You always facetious.
He said 4 different countries. The Lone Star goes to use the hotel and the amenities and don't pay. So are they absconding? You know, like midnight, you just get up and run? Or how is this possible?
Yeah, I guess they flee at night. But it says a lot about our team, preparation and all of that. Because as we all know here, it's a fact now that resources put in are actually almost equal to the output of the teams. I mean, we've seen it here. Those countries that invest, in sports, their teams do very well. Most of the European teams, Dr. Booty is here. He will contradict me if I'm misleading, but it shows. Those countries that invest in their teams a lot, the teams do well. I mean, we just said it here from the beginning of the show. The team lost to Sierra Leone, and this is not to put Sierra Leone down, but are we surprised that they will lose to Sierra Leone? I mean, the team is struggling. So I think Dr. Tape, I think he's, I don't know why he's only just speaking out now, but I was shocked too when he said, I can understand the lack of support. That is a problem. But now to say that, they've been going from country to country, 4 countries now that they have traveled to and ran away and left a bill behind. I don't understand that. I have absolutely nothing to say about that, Jerome, because I'm afraid for my brother Kamara here, to accuse me of bias. The fact is that the team is not getting the support that it deserves. I mean, president office gets what, around $16 million or something like that, just on foreign travel alone. Maybe some of that money could have been given to the Lone Star. I don't know, but the fact remains that our national team, our national pride, is not getting the support that it needs, and therefore we're getting the kind of performance that we're getting from our players.
Wow.
Mm.
Mr. Tao, I just, if you and I check into a hotel and we ate their food and got room services and left at midnight, somebody's going to go to jail. I mean, this, according to Dr. Tapper, they've been doing this from country to country. They just do this, racking up bill in the millions.
I don't
You
believe
know,
that. I don't
you,
believe that.
Yeah,
you know,
I
you
mean,
know
that's what
what
I
I'm
have to believe
seeing.
too.
Mr. Tower, go ahead.
You know what I'm seeing here. People in this particular government, they make too many claims on things that they're supposed to have data and information on without presenting anything. Because Liberia for them is an elephant meat. Because if the president can come in, don't give no budget, don't do anything, he start building places in Foya. We don't see no budget, we don't see anything. There is a bulletproof vehicle that is bought. So they themselves too, they throw their own number to see what can stick. Because common sense will tell you that don't make that it's not true. How you getting on these planes? Who is still allowing you to fly on their airline if you're not paying? Who is allowing you to still sleep in the hotels when you are not paying? Because Liberia is traveling back and forth to most of the same countries. Okay, so anything, look, for me, I'm not caught up so much on the specific government, but what is happening actually on these guys with all these claims is start and it's just nonsense. In the first place, the money that they are talking about, water money in any form, that is not even where our problem is, because you always lose. Do you know what kind of effort Sierra Leone put into sports development? Look at the national team level. That is where you have to look first. How is the game organized? How are kids recruited? How is the academy system in our country? That's where you start. Not by somebody making a claim that they need $10 million for them to travel. If you give $10 million, it's going to be wasted because the preparation from this level, from youth level into the Lone Star, doesn't exist. So if that doesn't exist, no matter how much money you pump here for somebody to just eat it, and I don't know Dr. Tape, but he know that this is a lie. It seems like these guys, they really don't even care about any kind of repetition, because it's actually a lie. I will say that because it's not true. Who plane are you still getting on when you can't pay? Who hotels are you still sleeping in when you can't pay? They're going to the same Morocco and all these same different places over and over, and you're telling them that the team have not gotten arrested at one of the airport for theft.
Hotel don't do self-pay. They don't do self-pay. You pay advance.
That's what I'm gonna
pay
say. I just spent a whole week to come to
let me-
You don't do
let-
self-pay in
let
a
me-
hotel. You have
let
to
me-
pay for your own
let
stay.
me go to Anthony Gay. Anthony Gay, when I was surprised when the man was making a demand, he didn't give like a budget, right? An itemized budget, who we owe, when we owe them, and all of that. Nothing. He just put on this number. He said between 5 and 10 million. I knew it was something was wrong when he said between. He didn't give an understand. Go ahead, Anthony Gay.
First and foremost, thank God working at hotel. I was a front desk person in that hotel. One of my first jobs I had in the US. And I can tell you for a fact, you don't check in a guest without running that credit card. Once you make the reservation, we have to validate that credit card that you have enough money to cover and future expenses. So we overcharge your credit card, just so that when you use any other service there, it can cover that. So at least $200-300 more, we charge your credit card, right? So where in this world you traveling to these developed countries and they will just let you sleep? I mean, that one person you're talking about 22 players
Or staff.
or staff plus staff, all of that. That is no, I can't believe it. It's not true. And I just googled the Labrador national team in the hotel. Nothing came up. Because first and foremost, it will be a headline news for a country team to check into the hotel and check out without paying. It's not possible. These guys know how to take money from the government without struggling. They see a loophole, they're going to exploit that loophole and run with it. Look, in this 21st century, you don't check into the hotel without having money. You can't. I don't know which hotel you will go to right now and just check in without paying. You don't do self-pay in hotel. The rest. By the time you do the reservation, rental car hotel. By the time you do the reservation, they run your credit card and see if you have the money to cover that. That's the first thing to do. And I work in a hotel as a front desk person, and I did those things. So I had the experience that we don't get check a guest in without or take a reservation, whether via the phone call or online. Back then, when I first started working in a hotel, internet thing was not a big deal. So meaning guests just used to call the hotel and we'll make the reservation on the phone. But the first thing I can do, I will ask you which method of payment you're gonna use. If we say this credit card, the only credit card we were accepting at the time was Discover credit card. So when it's not, you say you have a Discover, I say, oh no, my hotel is not accepting this card. They say, oh, I have a MasterCard or Visa.
Let's pass the mic.
You know, so that's the thing. So again, I don't believe it, and I will leave it right there.
Okay, Mr. Kamara, let me come to you. Could it be possible that maybe the manager did a reservation, say it's on us, they get there and then they abscond, they didn't pay? Or how could this be possible? How?
What I do know for a fact is that 3 football academies being built simultaneously, Bone County, Moserado County, and Grand Cape Mount County as we speak, and they are all.
Is that why they didn't pay the bill?
That way our talent can come from in football, not the Southeast. Yeah, but the Southeast.
We are not talking about talent. Is that why they didn't pay the bill?
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying now. First of all, I didn't listen to that hearing. This is basically coming from you, and I know who you are. When syndicate is an understatement. Mischief is also another statement when it comes to you. So I can't take it at any face value. However, however, I know the LFA president to not be called Tape. I know that the Ministry of Youth and Sports, the Minister of Youth and Sports is not a Tape. So I don't understand why a Tape would discuss football issues when you have a manager for the team. So if this did happen, then somebody really need to call Tape to come back and expose himself further, because I don't even think that's his area. And I don't know why he was even invited. The lawmakers will just invite anybody. Well, they just
No,
work out the
let me
stuff.
see. This is
Who is Tape?
Thank you. Thank you. Tape was appointed by the president of the Republic of Liberia.
Mhm.
Reverend Luther Tape is the head of the Lone Star National Team Mobilization Committee chairman, appointed by the president.
Okay,
You are
so
correct.
maybe he's looking for mobilization money. But as far as simple logic goes, you can't walk a 40 or your walk, eat, and everybody take their shirt, put on their bike, start walking through the front door. You're not even supposed to waste down this topic.
Oh, Mr. Kamara, thank you.
Listen, you see that when we're talking, this is why we say data is important. I have everything here, and you telling me,
No, I'm not saying you're doing something wrong. I am saying it's not realistic. It's not realistically sound that 40 men will sit down in the lobby, eat the people hotel food, all 40 just get up, put their belt on their back, start walking through the front door. Then they get messy. Nobody
Not
has
only
it.
that they eat, they eat. They
Yeah,
sleep.
but when they eat, they're not going to pay, Mr. Kamara. The management is supposed to pay. The players don't worry about that.
Dr. Booty is on deck. Dr. Booty, every time I'm speaking here, these are articles that we print. It is not that somebody making these things up. I got them here in bundles. I print them.
Man will know you, man. We're gonna gather here in bundles.
We have to quote our sources.
No, but it was a press conference, Mr. Kamara.
There's a man picture right here.
No, but he said the lawmaker. He said the man went to the lawmakers.
Yes.
That's what he said.
Yes.
It was live.
I didn't see it. I think he made a fool of himself.
Yeah, let me comment a little bit on it. It is true he went to the lawmakers. In fact, the result of that, they created a committee to chaired by Steve Tikwa, and co-chaired by Dixon Sibo. They're supposed to look into the financing of football, or not just football, but sports teams in general. But the idea that we have accumulated debts all around in 4 different countries, this invites a mismanagement issue. How did this happen? All of you are asking the same question. How did that happen? That's serious mismanagement. And if we are mismanaging the team this much, then we call it for 5 to 10. I think 5 to 10 million is reasonable for sports program or football program, but we do not show enough responsibility on our part when we're managing these things. So by giving them the money, will we attain any improvement in the boys' performance, in the team's performance? You before you get something a team to be good, before you can improve something, you must have a serious plan and disciplined plan that will accomplish results. But if you're not showing that you can manage, then we must give you more money to do what? I will drop after I leave this one thing. The security budget that they have proposed this year is outrageous. And so pray tell me, what are they doing with that kind of money? You know what I mean? I don't. So when I hear people calling for money, is a good idea, but are we making meaningful use of the little money we have? Is there a watchdog looking at the returns on our investment? And if we don't start addressing this, we'll be the same place 50 years from now. We'll be in the same place. We have to have people account. What did you do with the money? Did you do good? If you didn't do good, then we need to get you out of there and get somebody who's capable. But as long as we're playing politics with this, if that's my partisan, and it doesn't matter if they perform well or not, we're not going nowhere.
Great. Dr. Booty, when I hear between 5 and 10 million, for me who run budget and get money, no government, no agency, nobody's going to give you a loan if you come out and say between 5 and 10. If you don't have the data laid out like this, where you say these are my line items, $10 million, $5 million for travel, $10 million for hotel, $10 million for this, 10 million. You can't just come and pull numbers out of the hat and say between 5 and 10 million. I never seen anything like this. But again, that's Liberia. Your take on this?
Well, yeah, just so there are a lot of things that we've mentioned, right? And we just need to try and address some of them. Obviously, I just looked at the news article quickly just to try and get some facts before speaking on it. And I think first of all, yes, they can do hotels do separate. Uh, so my organization, for example, has what we call a direct corporate billing account with hotels, multiple hotels, where employees, we have a code. When we book, we put that code in, and then they bill us as a company a month later. So it can happen. So a country like Liberia can have that kind of arrangement with hotels across the continent where they can have a billing account with them where you stay and then they bill the government afterwards. So no, yeah, you can have separate. So that information was incorrect. I read the article. I didn't see anything about staying in 4 hotels, but obviously it was just snippets of his press conference that's in the article, because I think it was actually long press conference and he might have said that. I think what he's saying is that Liberia needs between 5 and 10 million. He wants to go on a fundraising event to try and get money for the Lone Star. I agree with you, Mr. Gamer, and I will end there obviously because I know we have a time constraint. This government fails at every stage or every step or every attempt to be transparent. I think most of us, well, let me speak for myself. A guy like me would not have much to say if this government was transparent, right? If they came out and said, look, we need $5 million, right? 100,000 is for coaching staff hotels, right? For 4 hotels in 4 countries over so and so. 2 million is for flights. 1 this is for player welfare. This one is for medical team. Fidel come and open your mouth, and Aliyu Kamara will have enough ammunition to shut me up because it will be there, right? Like, what are you talking about, Fidel? What nonsense are you spitting? Because the government has produced a very transparent budget that says 5 million will be spent. Bang, 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 bang. What are you talking about? And the lack of transparency is the major reason why a guy like me can come on here and say things, and Aliyu Kamara is struggling to defend it. That why the hair not finished from the hair or.
Making a homoerotic.
Okay, I think everybody has exhausted this topic now.
No, I didn't get my chance to go.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we got. Go ahead, Elvis.
Okay. Yeah, look, I think the fact that Dr. Booty is reading something from the internet and trying to say that this is what Liberia has is not true. The reality is Liberia don't have a corporate relationship with those hotels that they stay in. And if the director of the team or wherever is saying that they owe this money, and he had to bring it to the government's attention, and that means it hasn't been billed to the government. So the government was unaware that Liberia owed this money to these hotels. The thing about it, I think FIFA needs to suspend us. They need to suspend us for maybe the African Cup of Nations coming up. They need to take punitive action against Liberia.
We're not we're gonna spare you.
Not expel, but suspend us. They need to take punitive actions against us. We're an irresponsible nation in almost every facet of our
See right there,
system.
you're gonna be expelled. That's treason.
I didn't say expel, I said suspend. Why you keep saying expel?
I said we are gonna expel you.
Oh, okay. All right, good. My point here is that the reality is that the country, they don't prioritize the things that bring pride to us. They want to sit on UN, a board or a security, seat. They want to look good out there, but their national team that's supposed to bring pride to the country through sports, they neglect it. I know Mandela Cooper and her first husband, she married like a Muslim man. She got 4 husbands, she got second husband, maybe she'll get 10 and 4 husband. We know they speak out our second husband. She said they were bringing like $5 million. 1 second. She said they were bringing like $5 million to the national team. The vice president said they were bringing more money to the national team. But this is what George Weah is so special in the history of Liberia. He took his own personal money and funded the team. When Charles Taylor was selling diamonds and looting the country, he didn't care a jink about Lone Star. But George Weah was spending millions of his own personal money to care about the team. Joseph Boakai, and Jeremiah Kun say they're patrons of the national team, but they barely support the team. They barely sponsor the team. So in this instance, I will just say this: Liberia should be suspended from multiple, competitions. This will show that we are incompetent, we are irresponsible, we don't take care of our players, we don't respect these players who come from the club teams to come and play for us. This government has shown irresponsibility in this sector, particularly in sports. And the woman that put there as the youth and sport director, she has no history. They just formed a different spot inside her there.
What
That
do you
the
mean?
top guy, I know he got a school, he's an educator. Instead of working in education, he's in sports. When he has no clear evidence of ever being in that sector before. We're putting, a square peg in round holes, and they don't fit. They don't fit. So I think the government is really neglecting our proud Lone Star that we once used to be, proud of, and now it's become a shame on Liberia. It's embarrassing. I'll pass the mic.
Let me close, man. My mom really calling me. I don't know what she wants. Let me close quick so I can go.
Your mom, see you messing up.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure you don't.
Your mom?
Yeah.
Your mom might be 180 because you 140. Go ahead.
my mom is 69. Anyway, so here is what I wanted to say just in closing. All right. You have to get the bucket before you decide to draw the water. We need to, by 2029, this government wants to cover at least 75% of the population in terms of electricity. In whom 75% of Liberians must have access to stable, guaranteed electricity.
Where are you getting all these numbers?
But I'm coming. But you didn't follow the conference that was here in Buchanan as to the government's agenda.
The $3 billion conference
between now and the 2029. Come on, give me a chance. Between now and 2029, the government wants to light up 75% of the Liberian household. Okay,
in Monrovia or the whole country?
75% of Liberia do not live in Monrovia.
75% of
I want to be a billionaire before I hit 45, Mr. Kamara. Is it going to happen?
Currently,
What the government wanted me is going to happen.
Alone. Across the nation, we got 20% across the nation. Outside of Maserado. Then you say 75%? Wow.
You see all the number of other people get caught. Number against the top of the other number. What you want to know?
Y'all think infrastructure are joke?
We tell you numbers are alternative fact. They're fake news.
Okay. No problem. ANC is on the other side. CMC, the opposite of ANC, on the other side. By the way, so that's what the government is doing. Mr. Eastman, rest assured, everything that you have thought of, they have thought of those things as well, mathematically, as a matter of fact. They know that when you increase power generation, you also have an idea as to how to distribute such power. They already know that. Don't worry, your concerns will be met. Okay? It has been a great show. The LDA is doing a marvelous job. In fact, they have been recognized around the world, but in fact, they're working hand in hand with the United States government because the United States government see what they do. You understand what I'm saying? This government is doing.
No, that's not true.
Fake news again.
But I am closing, gentlemen. So I am a pundit of Joseph Numa Boakai. Rest assured, you should know that before coming to the show. If you were coming with an antagonistic mindset about me, you already failed because you know I will promote Joseph Boakai. So what's the issue? Come to yourself and face the reality.
What is the percentage of those that have access to
Be objective, Mr. Kamara. You're too smart to be a sycophant for Boakai.
I don't know what you mean being a sycophant. I will condemn, I will criticize when need be, but I wouldn't just throw blanket criticism.
Elvis, did the man tell you he was smart?
There are places where this government is failing. You don't attack those places. You go for their success and try to minimize it. That's where we clash. But gentlemen, it's been a wonderful show.
Remember, I told you to go see the piazza. What you would do? You gotta go.
Before I go to Mr. Tao, the World Bank here is saying rural area in Liberia, the electricity is 9.3%. Oh, no, 9.3%. So I don't know where he's coming from. Yeah, Tao, go ahead.
Well, that closing?
Yes.
Okay, it was a good show. And but look at the issue here. You listen to Kamara here, what he just said here. Very unprofessional. He interrupts everybody. A professional person, you stay in on a panel until it's concluded. Every week in, week out. The moment he done talking, he log out. He interrupting everybody. So this is something that FOL need to look into to see really. But I just wanted to say that. But look, I want to address a few of these things. When you talk about the power issue, even if Liberia were producing all of the power, let's just say they came up and they were able to build all these dams and produce all these the power stations and everything, at what cost? That is what we have to look at, because they're already the man coffee $1 billion. So let's just even say the man coffee could even produce power from Monrovia. Is that the actual cost? They're selling and indebting the country. So running Liberia, the government official hold on to all the money that is supposed to use to run the country. Then they go and what? Credit for them to do projects that the country is already producing money for. Look, 2 years ago, I knew about the power project on the solar farm. I look at the numbers and I ran the numbers and I started to look. For 15 to 20 million, the government itself had that money. They could have gone to China. But all the stuff come from China. They don't come from anywhere. They could have bought the stuff with even workmanship and do that. How in the heck is almost 100 million? So when we come here, not just that even the government just building something, but at what cost and at the expense of the nation? So that stuff, rather, that's some serious stealing that is going on. That's the first thing. So whenever we see these projects, they were running some pipes. Oh no, I think it was Mo Ali. I saw them and I went in and I watched the whole news conference and I went in and I saw them. They were showing it. Like going to be $50 million from White Plain somewhere over there to Central Town. And when I started to go in and look at the numbers and started to compare the same project in other places, that's almost 3 times. But this is what we are getting. So they're just ripping the country off. Look, the debt, I would say this in the debt crisis and the poverty or so-called stuff in Africa is a myth. It doesn't exist. Africa being in debt is a myth. It doesn't exist. And it has been proven all over the place. And let me just cite 2 instances. Tanzania were in a lot of debt. John Magufuli took over and he did 2 things. He took over concession and he took over travel. In those 2 areas, no concession was signed. The negotiation was done in his office. He had a team in his office sitting with him and they would critique it. They came in, they renegotiated 3 contracts with Chinese companies. The Western companies refused because of their arrogance. They said no, they left. But when he did that, he found out that there was a lot of corruption to save a lot of money. What did Tanzania do? They took back most of their own resources. In the 5 years that Magufuli was president, for the first time, Tanzania did not take a single loan from the IMF or the World Bank. They were able to build vast infrastructure. So that's why I'm saying the debt crisis in Africa is a myth. Is local guys conniving with outsiders, whether it's Chinese, whether it's American, whether it's Indians, or whether it is Middle Eastern. They're conniving with them for them to bleed the country. We saw Ibrahim Traore them when they came in.
Come on now, we got a time limit, Mr. Tao, please.
Please don't interrupt me.
Go ahead, Tom and Lynn.
Yeah, when they came in, what happened? They took over their own resources. What happened? No need for them to really take loan for some time. In Liberia, if you take control or partnership with your iron ore, with your gold, with all of your team and all of this stuff, and you start to industrialize, guess what? There's no need for loan. That is a split that you saw in Senegal, even though they had their own differences. But Songo and that guy, The IMF is telling him that they need to do austerity, devalue the currency, cut, publish this, tax the people more. Some go say, no, let us look at the contract that was signed under Make It So. Let us look at our oil and everything. Let the government nationalize some of it, form partnership. We can raise money from there. And that was the split. And if they do that, they won't need to be able to punish the people and devalue the currency and wipe up the wealth. They can
Thank
pay.
you.
But this is where we are.
Thank
Until
you
we
very
can
much.
start doing this thing.
Thank you. Let me go to Dr. Booty. You do want international. You got to go. Go ahead.
I can't hear
Yeah,
Mr.
thank
Gmail.
you. As always, it's been a great show. Look, just in closing, we're grateful that we are trying to incorporate more sustainable ways of producing electricity in our country. We need it. But the points that Mr. Tower made and Mr. Eastman about the cost and how that could be applied in a much better way cannot be understated. I think the assertion from the LDA acting head that, oh, they've eradicated ghettos in Liberia is wild. It's a blatant, for me, lie, because there are no facts to support it. And these people need to be careful when they're speaking like that. And finally, in terms of the national team, look, we need a holistic approach to how we support the national team. I know Mr. Kamara talked about some, what you call it, academies that have been built. There has to be a holistic approach. And at this moment in time, everything seems to be very scattered, and the lack of transparency is not helping us at all. But it's been a great show. Great to see you all. Mr. Gay, nice to have you back. And yeah, we'll be here again next Sunday.
And Dr. Booty, we also receive 3 million, 2 million yearly from FIFA and 1 million from CAF.
Hold on a minute. Your name and where you calling from? Hello? Hello?
So where does that money go?
Yeah, your name and where you calling from?
My name is L.S. Kugler. I'm calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, go ahead.
So I just want to wait for this last topic you guys are going to discuss. You gotta lower your
radio. Tell him to stop the playback in the back.
You gotta lower your radio. He's listening to himself.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I listened to the press conference by the party attitude, right? About the national team people. So I played for the national team between 1992 and 2000. Okay? I was captain for Ivy. There's no way. First, if a team traveled from Liberia to go to Africa, then I'm going to make sure responsible for the whole team. That's the first step. That's the first line that he told.
Saying the lawyer is his monitor. We're having problem hearing him.
Where is getting that news from? That the national team, all money, your thousand years, and coverages. Every time a team leave a country to go to another country to play, that particular country should have the responsibility of that team until the team leaves. Only hotel, transportation, and feeding, everything will be on that country, in this country. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
Okay, this is the guy who was the captain of the IE team that played for the Lone Star.
Aaron Pobler, we know him.
Yeah, he says whenever the team travels, the host nation is responsible for 100% of the bill. So there is no way that Liberia will owe. So what he said, that Dr. Tapper was saying there, is complete fabrication. This is a man who played on the international team, who was a captain. He is saying there is no way, whenever the team travels, the team that is inviting the country that is sending the invitation is responsible 100% for your travel. That means your travel, your hotel, transportation, meal, everything. So this is from somebody who knows what they are talking about.
So maybe things have changed. That was in the 90s when he played for the team, so. Maybe these are
Well,
different.
listen, if anything, nothing demanding. The first thing was I didn't see any spreadsheet like this that
Mhm.
that delineate everything you're talking about. This is my office start this morning. This tonight. This is what I met on my desk, telling me how much I would need for the rest of the summer. Staff,
We'll
everything.
try the agreement, then we'll
And
contact
Jerome,
knocking your door.
and Jerome,
Yeah,
please add that in the library receipt 3 million yearly, 2 million from FIFA and 1 million from CAF.
there you go. There you go. Let's
Okay.
go. Yeah,
So
let's
where
go.
is that money?
Eris, you're closing.
Yeah, look, it was a great show, Mr. Gamer. Look, I think on the issue of power, the government is making progress. We must amend it for that. Even the issue of fighting drugs, they seem to be making progress also. Everything can be doom and gloom. I know we're in the opposition, but in reality, they've done, well, relatively well, and especially the drug situation. The power is still the same old. Maybe with this new turbine coming up, it will increase the stability and the availability of power to more Liberians, which would be great. On the issue of Lone Star, I think they've always been neglected. And I want to say this. This is something that goes under the radar. And as a Southeastern, I would say the fact that this government has neglected the Southeast in almost everything that they do. The fact that some of your greatest soccer players or football players come from that region. You're building academies and you don't carry one to the Southeast. You pack them in Bong, in Cape Mount, and in Lofa. No offense, but how many Lofians have we seen to be the top footballers in our country? Even Cape Mountaineans. I know maybe one or two came from Bong, but the best players, the best talent pool come from the Southeast. I hate to say it, but when you say the Southeast, that's where you find your legends in soccer. So the fact that you don't carry one academy there, as if to say there's no talent pool there, it's another sign that this government is neglecting the Southeast when it comes to development, when it comes to inclusion, all the different projects they're doing. They're focusing, building a technology hub in Lofa, anything that has to do with any development centers. It's always based outside of the Southeast. Nothing has been taken there to improve the lives of the people. It's almost like they're collectively punishing, the Southeasterners for being, from the same region as the former president. And these are some of the issues that cause problems later on down the road because because I heard George Lobo on this very platform said Southeasterners should never hold rulership position in Liberia again.
Yep, they did say
He
that.
said that on his platform. So there's this tension that's underlining it. Sometimes when I say it, people say, "Oh, every second you say that." I'm saying it because it needs to be said. The western side of the country is showing favoritism and sectionalism. George Weah had a lot of Lufians in his government. He brought a lot of them up, the South Joseph, the Thomas Fala, who now turn their back against him and say all kinds of nonsense about him because they're supporting their tribal uncle from Lofa. We have to see these things. Only when the Southeastern starts talking, then we're tribalists. But when other people are doing it against us, we're supposed to be quiet because we want to be seen as not being, tribalistic or not seeing wrongs that's being done to us. The last election, everything about the Southeast. Southeastern people running the other section. They're running the other one. They're the only people that know book in Liberia. Now they're in power. They're isolating, the Southeast. So I just want to bring that to our attention and let's maybe have more conversations about it. And Lofi and Bond and those people from the Western country, part of the country, they need to include the Southeast. That's a major part of our country. If you exclude us, it's going to be a problem later on down. But thank you, Mr. Gabe.
Thank you, Mr. Namwe.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that people like Mr. Lobo will talk about inclusion or exclusion from government based on, region of origin. But, I'm not going to worry about that. But thank you all. Great show tonight. I wanted to highlight Musa's ability, his regular letter from Cyclopedia. This time he's encouraging Liberians not to be the Benjamin of Animal Farm, the intellectual, cynic who can be likened to Martin Niemöller, who said, first they came for the Jews and I did not speak up because I was not a Jew. So basically, he's encouraging us to speak our truth. There's a lot that is going on that is wrong with our country. A lot of us, we always say, let the people think, that the people think, but we all feel the pain and we suffer. This government, I listened to Cabo Mbeki conduct a masterclass. I think he was speaking to UNISA, University of South Africa, about a week or two ago. They have this lecture series, and he was lamenting the stupidity of the young ones in South Africa who are running the streets and trying to expel so-called aliens. And he was basically telling them how much South Africa owes the rest of the continent. You cited examples from Tanzania, from Zambia, from DR Congo, Kinshasa, Congo, Kinshasa, Nigeria, Guinea, and all of this. And then he talked about the risk this exposes Africa to and how it undermines investment, right? This is the kind of thing we expect former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to do for us, former President George Weah to do for us, former Coca-Cola executive Arizona Cummings to do for us. We want our young people, some of our young people don't understand the implications of these things, and so I wanted to highlight what Musa is adding his voice to in trying to educate us what our civic responsibilities are. And like it or not, we're all responsible for the kind of leaders we get. A leader will be as effective as we allow them to be. A lot of things have been done to our country, and we just sit supinely and put our hands between our legs, and these guys get by. We sat here, an elected speaker was removed. Now another elected legislator has been removed. All of these things are happening. And so I encourage all of us not to be the Benjamin of Animal Farm. Speak your truth. Encourage your political party, your political leader, political team. Speak your truth. This in no way is not disrespecting in any way. That is not. I think what is even more disrespectful is knowing that this government is doing the wrong thing and not speaking out. I think that is more disrespectful. So I would challenge all of us, and thanks to the Honorable Musa's ability, continue to give voice to the voiceless. Speak for those who cannot speak for ourselves, but notwithstanding, we should all learn to speak for ourselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let me go to Anthony Gay. Take us home.
Yeah, I wanted to thank you. Though I came late to the show today, I visited a couple of churches. Services took too long too as well. But yeah, good show as always, and thanks you guys for holding down the platform. I mean, I've been away for quite some time. But yeah, great talk as always. Hopefully, we can have a leader that can move our country forward. Some of us live in the diaspora for too long, spent almost 15 years in the Ivory Coast, then here again. It just sometimes I really want to be home. But look at the rainy city, electricity, like Mr. Cumming called it. It's sad. You can't go back to that kind of thing. But actually, this time around, I hope this government will forget about news headlines and just focus on the things that can work for the people of Liberia. They are so much interested in the news headline as opposed to implementation. Electricity, I know my brother ever said the government the government like news until I can see clearly, how they are delivering, the electricity to the rest of the country and creating access. Because access is important. If I want LEC in my home, it will take me almost 3 months before I get it. That is if I bribe somebody. If I don't bribe anyone, it won't come to my house. That in itself is a disservice to the people. Infrastructure should be available. Service delivery should be the goal of the government. So I mean, if I have to spend 3 months before I can get LEC, then what is the point? That is the reason somebody call OKFM and get a phone and a direct phone number and say I'm even still in power because LEC refused to give me service. Another lady also called her phone on OKFM. This is a national radio station. They are calling OKFM
still in power?
and giving a phone number and saying I'm still in power because LEC cannot come and give me meter. I mean, I'm not making this up. These are the kind of thing when you hear people really want to pay for service, but they can't get it. And so they have to do it the other way. Am I endorsing that? No. The lady was like, I have a business. I need service. I don't want to be stealing because maybe the day when my customer will be here, they will shut my service off. So you can't give me service. My name is so and so. The other man said, oh, I don't have a business, but I need electricity to do what I can do because I work from home. He has a remote job, but he needs electricity. So these are the kind of things that is happening in the country. Give the people access to power. It's not hard to do. You don't have to be an electrician to put a board and a power meter to mount it. You don't have to be an electrician to do it. Then the electrician will come down and connect that board. Give this kind of job to people so they can have jobs. Go with the commercial bank. Take a loan from the commercial bank and let the commercial bank invest into power. LEC is a parasite. Every year, between 41 to 45 million dollars is allocated to LEC. When LEC is supposed to be a revenue generation, according to LEC, they have a little over 200,000 customers. If you do the math, if every person just randomly now factors, just for the sake of the discussion, if people pay $50 US flat rate, business or individual, you're gonna raise over $100 million a year. Your overhead cost, if it costs about 30 million or 40 million, you still will be left with $60 million to invest again for the following year. Why is LEC not generating money for Liberia? Why the government have to give LEC 40 million every year? What sense does it make? I'm gonna give back my time here.
Yeah. Jerome.
Nice show, guys.
And Jerome.
Real quick, 1 minute because we gotta go. Go ahead.
I can't hear Mr. Gabriel.
No,
go ahead.
Just what Gay is saying, right? My mom moved to a place in VOA, the city Gulf, with my sister. So I try to put light there. They sent me the form. They said they had a place, Marybrook place in GSA. They closed it down. Everybody in the whole Monrovia and the entire area go to Waterside. How is that possible? That's one of the distribution that we're talking about. So we went there. My cousin went there, brought a form after I filled out with my passport stuff and everything. You hand it to them, then you wait. They say 3 days, then they will call you from some other area, I think Looking Town. Then now you will go there to get another form. Then you go to some bank and make the payment. Then from that bank, then now you wait for when they will supply you the meter. So I talked to the guy and said, well, what kind of stuff is this? So when we get the meter, they said they don't know. Whenever they get it, they will call us. But guess what? One of the leading guys that's on the field started saying, but if we gave him some money, they can have the meter for us tomorrow. So I said, but wait, what's going on here? I said, will the meter be registered in my name? Will you give me receipt for me to prove when LEC come to check that it? He said, oh, you're trying to be all your American.
You're not ready.
You see?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Not really, yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Guys, let's do this again next week. See you time.
Hey, go and enjoy the World Cup. I just see the Ivorian team is in town. Let's have fun.
Okay, right, guys, let's do that next week. Man, this is beautiful. This is beautiful, guys.
Dr. Booty?
Dr. Booty, thank you very much for coming. I know you have crossed the water there. But as always, we say we are all Liberian, no matter where you come. Even with Ali Kamara, we are still Liberian. At least we think he's Liberian.
We are Liberian. Liberia is our home.